We are here because of the Nairobi Regeneration Project and specifically also cleaning Nairobi River.
After the promise, a year later, has anything changed on Nairobi River?
Hii mto ni black manake most of the sewer lines imedirectiwa kwa mto.
Kuna watoto wa abortion wanatupwa na hospitali zingine kama hizo private zina deposit mandidu kwa hii river.
What are the challenges? And is there hope for a cleaner Nairobi River?
And you realize how the complexity, the challenge that we have, particularly from informal settlement.
Remember, we brought you the status of Nairobi River in a 3-part series titled River in West a year ago. Join us as we revisit the status of the river. But first, here is our fact sheet.
River restoration is a process of managing rivers and streams with the aim of reclaiming their biodiversity status. The process of restoring rivers to their natural state has been done in many parts of the world. The famous River Thames in London was once declared biologically dead by the Natural History Museum in 1957. But after extensive restoration efforts, River Thames is now home to more than 2,000 seals, according to a Zoological Survey of London published in 2015. The river has literally come back to life and it now sustains 125 species of fish. Farther west, the Hudson River in New York was also an open sewer in the 1950s, having suffered pollution from industrial effluents and other contaminants. In August 2018, a comprehensive Hudson River restoration plan was launched after concerted efforts by over 30 organizations in collaboration with state and federal agencies bore fruit. Today, the Hudson supports fishing, boating and swimming. It is one among the many success stories of river restoration that Kenya can borrow from. For the Chamwada Report, my name is Michael Zimanja.
There are 3 rivers in the Nairobi River Basin that join at some point to form a bigger river that flows into Athi River. The 3 rivers are Ngong River, Nairobi River, and Mathare River. Nairobi and Mathare rivers join at Lakisama. Then the river flows down to join Ngong River near Ruai to form the bigger river that flows into Athi River. Let's go back to the source of one of the tributaries, that is Nairobi River. And that source is Ondiri Swamp in Kikuyu, Kiambu Town. The swamp is located 200 meters south of Kikuyu Town, 20 kilometers west of Nairobi city center, and it sits on a 30-hectare piece of land. However, the catchment area could soon dry up if human encroachment is not stopped. You see, here at Ondiri Swamp, the source of Nairobi River, nothing has changed. Look at those greenhouses. And the result of all this, as analysts have said, is something to worry about.
You realize that the better part of that upper zone of the river has predominantly agricultural activities. So we have heavy use of agrochemicals. So the river then is polluted mainly in those upper reaches by pollutants emanating from agricultural farms.
Further downstream, as one approaches the section of the river between Kangemi and Kawangware informal settlements, the impact of poor sanitation coupled with frequent sewer bursts can be felt, and this is not just from the nearby informal settlements, but also from human activities upstream.
Nilianza kuishi 1973. Ndio nilianza kuishi hapa. Mpaka sasa. Umeona
mabadiliko gani kwa hii miaka yote kwa hii mto?
Hii mto nimeona mabadiliko sewage zilipokuja. Lakini zamani kukiwa hakuna sewage, maji ilikuwa ni safi, hata ulikuwa ukikosa maji hata unaweza kunywa. Lakini saa hii hainywiki.
Here, there is another natural resource that area residents say is a blessing, a clean stream from a wetland that never dries up. That's why this group of women are here, washing clothes using water from the spring, and the same water they say is good enough for domestic use.
Huu mto ulikuwa msafi sana hapo awali, tulikuwa tukiyatumia na kufulia manguo. Mimi sijui ni aje alikuja yakaharibika tu mara moja na yakawa kama sewage.
Bona Nairobi River, sasa ilipoanza kuwa tafu, ndio tulikuja kudiscover hii maji.
Amkuwa mmejua iko hapa?
Hatukuwa tukijua, so tulikuwa na maji ya kutumia.
Hii ukauka ama inakuwa continuous?
Hii ni continuous. Maajabu ya Mungu haya. Hii maji bado mama saa zingine wakakutuomba ruhusa, wakamwagilia mboga. Lakini sana sana asubuhi na mapema ndio tuamkaga tukachota ya kunini hiyo ya kukunywa na kupikia.
Now, you will realize that this water appears clean with the natural color of water. Ironically, as it flows to Nairobi River, it's joining the troubled river in west. You are watching a bird's eye view of Nairobi River 1 year after the cleanup promise. Time now to join Brian Oboya from our broadcasting partner KTN News. He's downstream in Korogosho to tell us if anything has changed there.
Children play with dirty water in Korogosho. Another washes gunny bags in the same river. A middle-aged woman is cleaning clothes and gunny bags to fend for her family here. All of them oblivious of the danger that lies within this neatly scripted story of a river flowing with average serenity.
That is how I reported on the situation at this section of Nairobi River in 2018. At the time, we had found Fred Okinda working on a trial development of a park next to the river. It is a project started by reformed youths of the slum, young men and women who previously engaged in violent crime and said to be behind a series of muggings and murders several years ago. But today, they are working on a different means of livelihood. Fred Okinda is their chairperson at Com Green Movement, and listening to him 1 year later, there appears to be notable change here, which has also impacted on the state of the river.
Tulikuwa tunajaribu kufanya hii kazi, but hatukuwa tuna manufaa. But 1 year later, yenyewe sasa tumepiga progress kubwa sana. Tumefanya mzuri hii park.
Today, unlike 1 year ago, children can play freely on this grass. They have reduced their love for the dirty water of Nairobi River. Just a day ago, we are told there was a birthday party held here, and there is still some evidence for that.
Community mzima inafurahia, watoto wanacheza vizuri, maparties kama kuna wenye wanaweza kuwa na kapati, wanaleta hapa kwa park, juu sahii Korokocho ni kusafe. Hata mapolisi wa hii area, ile meeting, masaa yote wakitaka tumit na sisi, si kujaga tunamit hapa kwa park.
But despite these efforts, it is important for us to learn why then the state of the river does not change. It appears to remain the same. Those working on this project think very little has been done to empower youths upstream to form similar projects, without which their efforts may as well go incognizable.
Kama vijana wengine wanaweza iga mfano yetu hapa, hii mradi along the Nairobi River yote tunataka ikuwe safi na ikuwe ni green. Hao vijana wengine pia waangalie venye tumeshaanza, tuendelee na hii mradi. Hizo mtaa zingine pia waendelee nazo.
Na kama youth wa Dandora wanaweza shikana, watasaidika kidandora. Kama Korogocho tumeshikana, tusaidike Korogocho. Na kila mtu atasaidika. Na mayuto nipate kwa kweli, kila mtu atasaidika. Ni if only ule mtu ako active na ako willing kufanya shughuli, atasaidika yenyewe through county government.
County government na national government wakishirikiana, hizo sewage zimeweza kutoboka ziweze kufanywa repair, na pia ukiangalia hii upande ingine pia hakuna sewage line. Pia wakishirikiana tungewaomba waweze kuhakikisha kwenye Nairobi River imeanzia mpaka mwisho sewer line iko kando ya mto. Inaweza saidia uchafu mingi yenye inaenda Nairobi River inaweza punguka kwa kiwango kubwa sana, na vijana wenye wanafanya kazi kwa mto inaweza warahisishia, na inaweza zuia pia magonjwa mingi wana risk wakifanya hiyo kazi.
The results of lack of proper sewerage services in Nairobi City County, especially in informal settlements, can be seen here. Now, this water is a collection of waste from the settlements. And that sewer burst right behind me continues to release effluent into the river as it did 1 year ago. As it appears, only time has changed. Nothing has been done about it, at least for the 1 year we have known it to be releasing effluent into this river.
And as these youths work to clean the river at this section like we found them today, it turns out to be a dangerous adventure. John Gisheha and Calvin Okoth both work to reclaim this riparian area.
Hii river ni mbaya na hii maji ni mbaya sana juu ya chemicals. Bado tunaweza pata ugonjwa wa clean hivi, na bado kuna toa abortion wanatupwa, na hospitali zingine kama hizi private zina deposit madidi kwa hii river, na sisi tuna clean hivi unapoteza nili zinaweza kudunga.
Mimi ni member wa Coop Green, sisi ndio tumefanyia hii Coop Green kazi. Tunapata yenyewe challenges kwa hii mto. Mashindano, madaktari yenyewe maosi zinatupa mashindano kwa hii mto. Mbaya sana.
Gisheha and I are walking along the river. He wants to show me a temporary graveyard next to the river. It is of babies and fetuses dumped into the water.
Si wenyewe tumejitolea kama youth yenyewe wa Coop Green, tumewazika hadi hapa. Hizi ni kaburi yenyewe za watoi.
Oh, hizi tatu?
Hizi tatu, hii na hii na hii. Huu ni dem na huu ni boy na ule ni dem pia. Si watu wa Coop Green yenyewe ndio tuweka, tukiwatoa tuwatupangia tuende na mto. Si wenyewe tuwazika, tunawapandia maua, tunaweka wenyewe ni watu na si feeling poa.
On that note, we take a short break. When we return, we'll cross over to Ngong River. We will be joining Michael Simanji in industrial area to tell us what is happening there. Also ahead,
I am scared that you may not have much to show. There are huge challenges. And I invite the chair and the committee members to go with us from the source to the end of the Nairobi River ecosystem.
what transpired at the meeting between the National Assembly Committee on Environment and Natural Resources and the Nairobi Regeneration team. Welcome back. This is a bird's eye view of Nairobi River, a year after the cleanup promise. And remember, in the Nairobi River Basin, there are three main rivers. That is Nairobi River, Ngong River, and Mathare River, which join at some point and flow into Athi River. Time now to join Michael Simanji, who is in industrial area along Ngong River, to tell us what he can see there.
Yes, Alex, I am at a section of the Ngong River in industrial area. And behind me is a bridge that separates industrial area from the Mukuru slums that sprawl along the river. Now, the river is still choking on all manner of waste, from clothes to paper, plastics that were burnt recently, and even this. From here, follow me. I will take you to another section, still in industrial area, where you'll be shocked at how industries are still discharging effluent into the river. Now this is what I was telling you about. Look. Look again. Industrial discharge is flowing freely into the river. Now, I'm not an expert, but from the look of things, this is not healthy. And if you look closely, you can even see oil particles flowing into the river. And this is the junction at which this effluent joins the Ngong River at industrial area. Something needs to be done. Over to you, Alex.
So how far has the Nairobi Regeneration team gone as far as the cleanup of Nairobi River is concerned? That's what the National Assembly Committee on Environment and Natural Resources sought to find out. Elijah Mwangi has more.
Members of the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, that is chaired by MP Kareke Mbiuki, wanted to know why the cleanup of Nairobi River has stagnated. For some, it does not make sense to keep cleaning the river without addressing the root causes of waste.
Does it really make sense to keep cleaning a river that when we have even not thought about providing sanitation facilities to the people in the informal sector?
On the issue of sanitation, I think it is important as a strategy. As we deal with the enforcement, as we deal with the removing of the sludge in the river, it is important, especially where we're dealing with informal settlements, and there are so many of them, that we provide alternative waste water treatment, sanitation facilities, and this is what one of the integrated strategy that we're working on, and that we can, and I think the proposal that we have a joint, the committee has a joint meeting with the entire regeneration team, so that then we have that holistic composite view regarding what each one of us separately and then collectively are doing.
The approach of hiring casuals to clean up the river also received criticism.
Why don't you procure a company? Why don't you apply capacity and technical knowledge by managing the waste instead of just going downstream?
Casuals are not a substitution for the tenders. Casuals are just to handle that ordinary task of cleaning up, removing solid waste, and so on and so forth. Advertisements have been made to contract the give companies and entities that have the capacity to do major works that cannot be done by ordinary Kenyans. You will appreciate, Chairman and honorable members, that it is also our responsibility as government to create employment. If these casuals are properly supervised and they do their job, we have created employment and also supported their families. So I don't think there is really, with tremendous respect, anything wrong about retaining casuals.
Above all, it appears the biggest challenge to the regeneration of the Nairobi River Basin is inadequate funding.
This committee supported your 800 million Nairobi Regeneration budget. And when we inquired, we were told that maybe 30% is what you have received. 30% of 800 could be like about 240 million. I am scared as a member of this committee, which is meant to be oversighting you, that by the end of this financial year, you may not have much to show in terms of how much, what you have done with the money Treasurer has given you.
It's not 800. Actually, I wish it was. We have our guys here, and I think they have our documents here. It's 110 million. This is the amount we have been trying to see how to appropriate and focus it effectively. We have settled on the Nairobi River because it is part of the regeneration, the Nairobi Regeneration Initiative. So, Honorable Washali, I agree with you. We focus on one river. And that river is Nairobi River. There are huge challenges. And I invite the chair and the committee members, one of these good days, and hopefully sooner, to go with us from the source to the end of the Nairobi River ecosystem. and you realize how the complexity, the challenge that we have. Particularly from informal settlements. That's where the issue we have. Slums, informal settlements. Kenyans who have no sanitation facilities.
Then the controversial issue of demolitions. Last year, excitement was in the air amid hope that the problem of encroachment along the river basin and the impunity surrounding it was finally being dealt with. Some buildings on the riparian land came down. The UK Mall in Westlands, the Java Shop and Shell petrol station in Kileleshwa near the Nairobi Arboretum, and the South End Mall near the Mbagathi Road, Langata Road roundabout. What happened to the demolition exercise?
The head of public service, Dr. Kenyo, has already issued, I think it is in the public record, has issued a direction to stop, put on hold any further demolitions pending further consultation, rationalization, and discussion on this. And that is why, as members have observed, there have not been any new demolition since. Other than demolishing, there are other alternatives. Those are the discussions that are being held within the framework of the Nairobi Regeneration and at the higher level.
That's what transpired at that meeting between the National Assembly Committee on Environment and Natural Resources and the Nairobi Regeneration team. Well, it appears the cleanup of Nairobi River is still an uphill task. Let's wait and see if those challenges will be overcome. And that's how we end our show today. Many thanks for watching. See you again next time.